Hi everyone, I'm going to go over the BTEC Unit 1 Assignment 3 Learning Aim E. A little bit of an exemplar really to demonstrate what I'm expecting from you guys. Obviously I'm expecting something a lot better. What we need to do is be investigating the role and contribution of innovation and enterprise on one selected business. The business that I've chosen to do is Gillette as my example, and I thought I could knock this up in a couple of days. It has taken me a lot longer than I thought to gather all this research, and I need to see that you've got more research than me in the PowerPoint. It took me 2 days. You should really have 10 days worth of work within this. Just make sure that your presentation is unique to you and individual, and you're quoting all your links and sources just like I have throughout my PowerPoint. Top tip, use the unit content. It's there for a reason. It might be that you are picking out certain headers within this and using that as a basis of your research. It might be that they are keywords that you're going to discuss within your speech. It might be things that you're writing in your script in your report, but either way you need to be using these things as little elements of research. It's there for a reason, and you should be using that as part of your research and telling me all about it too. Just a quick reminder of the criteria. So just explaining innovation and enterprise, linking it to your business, and then saying how that makes them successful is just a pass. So try to make sure that there's some analysis in there to get a merit. So you need to be linking it to its success and also its failures. So what's gone wrong, or has it taken things for granted? Any issues? No business will be 100% successful. There's always going to be a failure in there. Look at the news, look at the media, do a little bit of research, maybe your own opinion. Have they been adapting to today's climate? Which will lead you on to a distinction. So looking at the changing environment, looking at when the business started, how it is now. Think of all the events that have come and happened and had an impact on that business over time, and think about where it is at today. So for me, I'm looking at 2019 to 2020. I'm focusing on March 2020 because that's when my assignment has been given to me, and I'm in the middle of a coronavirus lockdown, so I'm going to make sure that I use that to keep it current and up to date within my work. So this is my title slide. I'm Mrs. Hunter from Hanson School, Business Studies teacher, and I'm going to be looking at Gillette and seeing how innovative and inventive and enterprising that business has and how successful that business is as a consequence. Little bit of a background into its strange history. So Gillette started in 1904 by King Gillette. He received 2 patents on razors, and his vision was to create the disposable razor. Back in the day, cutthroat razors were like knives almost. You had to sharpen them. They would be done by a barber, and what he wanted to do is bring the shave home. Once that blade gets blunt, we can throw it away, we can take the top off and add a new one on. So this throwaway disposable razor that King Gillette had owned. And also the razor could be slightly adjusted, so it could tilt at an angle to make ease of use. He owned that blade market, but you've got to think that a patent doesn't last forever. So when that patent lapsed, on arrived his competitors. This is an image of one of his very first patents, and as you can see, it's got all these little twiddly bits, totally falls apart, and by figure 5 and 6 you can see that is where the adjustable blade setting came about. There's loads of other patents that you can see, and in fact he owns hundreds of patents. So blades didn't have to be sharpened and everything could be customised. Obviously in 1921 things became expensive because of his research and his development into handles and blades, and Wilkinson sword was also on the market at that point, also doing disposable blades. So Wilkinson sword, to adapt, had to then start thinking, right, I am going to reduce the number of blades in my packet to keep my prices in line with a much cheaper Wilkinson sword. patents are a good thing to protect your inventions, and like I said, Gillette's got lots of them, but 13 of these patents have been disputed by US law, by the Dollar Shave Club, saying we have that already. So Procter & Gamble have seen 13 arrive in court against other shave companies, which is mainly the US Dollar Shave Club. Also Wilkinson Sawder's got a dispute on one of them too. So even though they spend a lot of money on patents, and as you can see, a patent costs around £3,000 to £6,000, when they're being contested in court, it's costing them an awful lot of money to stay ahead. So ahead they are. So back from the 1900s, when King Gillette started his company, right the way to 2005 and now into 2019, they've got a range of products, and he has always been adapting. On the website it says 100 years of innovation to make sure that people have the best shave yet. And this is one of the latest innovations of Gillette's, and it's going into the gift market. It's no longer a staple buy. A man or a woman buys a razor for a shave. It's no longer a staple buy. And I think that Gillette have seen everyone else come on board, giving the disposable razor. So what they've done is they've targeted the gift market. Now this is a totally personalisable blade, and as you can see, I've gone on the website, dead easy to use, and I've put Mrs. Hunter on the bottom of my blade. Obviously, higher prices can be charged for this gift, premium packaging and higher profit margins. Further down, you will, I discovered that it costs pennies to make a blade, and this one is being sold for £20 each. So high profit margins due to the innovation that no one else is doing this. So it is quite a leading thing. Another enterprising and innovative and almost really was to be involved with the 007 films, even back in the day, that you can see from the top right hand side, that James Bond undid one of the very first blades, and that turned into some kind of magical laser pen or something, and that blade was taken apart and used as one of the gadgets in a James Bond film. From then, they've had sponsors in the latest films with Spectre, because it's about the masculine man, the clean shaven, this sexy bravado that all the James Bonds have, and Gillette have been really, really lucky to be associated with that. That's definitely something that's contributed to their success, and what no other razor blade company have ever done before. However, let me do my analysis and balance. If the James Bond films were ever controversial and ever got in the media for something negative, and I think the role model of the James Bond man has been challenged of late, looking into the more feminine man. They don't have to be this masculine fighter, womanizer. So actually that reputation of a Bond man with the Gillette blade actually has had some negative impact, and I will go on to that later on, looking at one of its latest adverts. So, bit of a recap, just to cover my P, is, and we've spoken a lot about it being a man's blade, but actually it has got one of the most diverse ranges going on. It's got your men, your women, it's got your self-care ranges with your creams and your shaving balms and your foams. It's got your gift ranges for men and for women, all customisable. And not only that, it is differentiated by price. So we've got some very, very cheap blades, 1 or 2 blades. And then we've got the premium 5 blades, skin guards, moisturisation strip, swivel ball handle, using all the latest patents and gadgets, and obviously you're paying a premium for that blade that no one else has got. So really, what's contributed to its success? The huge range of research that has allowed it to have a wide variety of blades, all suited to several different target markets, whether it be gender or income.